Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Phillip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is Ceti Alpha 3. Hello, and welcome to Ceti Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I am Darren Moser, and I'm joined by my fellow Strandies, Phillip and Daniel. Guys, have we gotten that life pod fixed yet? It's been a couple of cycles.
I think it's kind of like Lower Decks. It was more of a group project thing. We actually could have finished it the first day, but
the joy we found along the way is the real treasure. Not the escape, but actually what we learned about ourselves and each other.
Or maybe it's more like a Delta Flyer thing where we get it all put together. We're like, nah, that's not right. Let's just start again, start from scratch, and just take it all apart.
I'm just saying the joystick is a cool thing to have.
What do they call it? Manual assault mode or something? I forget what he said when he activated it, and then the pillar came up, and we're like, "What is happening, Riker? You have no beard. You're grabbing joysticks. What's going on?"
Trying to impress Trill Helms women.
Yeah, it's like you just basically got serious again with Troy like 5 seconds ago, but talking
about Data's face looking like a butt. All of these things.
Look, we're not going to talk about we're not going to talk about insurrection. It's okay. That's enough. God. That's enough insurrection for one day. I thought it was going to be like the Defiant, where we got it done and then it gets destroyed. And we have to rename the second show the same as the first show. But
this podcast is very overpowered.
Oh boy!
3 hosts? Who needs 3 hosts? We could get away with 2, even 1 at times if we need to. But this, ladies and gentlemen, our wonderful listeners on the Nerd Party, is our final episode of Ceti Alpha 3. It's been quite a journey that we're going to take you on an episode by episode discussion of all of our past. No, just kidding. You're not
356.
No, we're not. If we talk really fast,
5 minutes on each. All right,
5 on each. Oh, I was gonna say 1, but geez, maybe 30 seconds. No. Like all good things, see what I did there. We're going to skim. Let me sum up. There's not enough time. But yeah, it was funny. I know some of us have re-listened to some of our, maybe not all of our podcasts, but a few of the episodes kind of leading up to this week. And I don't know if many of you listeners know, podcasters don't usually re-listen to their own episodes, even when they air, because we've already just heard it. We've just said it. We don't need to hear ourselves unless it's really good or really funny. But there are definitely some that I like to return to. Maybe it's because I'm feeling nostalgic, or maybe it's been a rough week and I want to laugh because I know that it's going to make me laugh because it was just so dang funny. Hopefully not for negative reasons, but
and you want to know if the pods are just for the human personnel?
Yes, I want to know,
or just for dolphins.
We can. It's so. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Ceti Alpha 3, but also a bit about Earl Grey, which was our first show from way back in September of 2013, guys. Disco was hot, and it was a long time ago.
Was Star Trek even in color then? I don't even remember.
Well, it was during the dark times between, like, the Enterprise was done for like almost 10 years at that point, and we were still a couple years away from Discovery. I don't think Discovery had even been announced by then. So
we were in Beyond territory.
Were we even there yet? Because I feel like
Into Darkness, or were we?
Yeah, Into Darkness was 2012, right? So this is like right around. So I was going to ask this question just because you sparked my interest, Darren. I don't want to throw us too far off track.
No, go for it.
Do you remember like your state of fandom, or like your mindset? Do you guys remember what motivated you to to start podcasting about Star Trek? Because it was
Beyond was July of 2016. So Beyond had happened before we started Ceti Alpha 3. And then so we started Ceti Alpha 3 with like no new shows. had you up and announced. But sorry, okay. So your question, Daniel, was what was my state of Star Trek? Yeah, well, if you listen to a Little Imzadi Relationship, we talk about that, Daniel. We talk about, but no, I think that's what drew me to Earl Grey, and the concept of Earl Grey was, I think we all agreed that Next Gen was our favorite show. And so talking about that, and just the same, I won't speak for you, but for me, it was finding friends, even if it was kind of a blind date, a pre-signed marriage from Chris type of situation. But yeah, it was like, hey, here's the thing I really enjoy, but I don't have close geographically Trek friends to talk about. So so that was what was interesting.
So you found two other geographically not.
I'm very far away, but this thing called the internet made it all possible. But yeah, I remember
subspace.
I can't even remember if I was hoping for new shows. I think we were just kind of riding the movies. Like we had the Kelvinverse, like the 3, and it was kind of obvious that was kind of going to be it for a while. Or no, actually, sorry. By the beginning of then, I don't think we had Beyond yet. So we were reeling
we knew
from.
This was going at least 4 movies, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 4 movies. Why would it not be 4 movies?
Any day now. Come on.
But yeah, I remember, and then I think that was the big thing though, is streaming was really becoming a thing. So it was easier to watch all of Next Gen or start an episode really easily. You didn't have to, dust off your VHS tapes or even
We're so old. We remember when Star Trek was on Netflix. That's
it was.
Old trusty Netflix. Never had to worry about anything coming on.
Where else would Paramount put it or CBS? There's nothing else out there. Oh man, you're right. There was pre-streaming. I remember before the streaming wars began.
I served in the streaming wars.
But it was fun. Man, all of those TNG actors were about 13 years younger and going to more cons, and more of them were alive. So it was an interesting time.
Well, what about you, Daniel? What was your sort of Into Darkness Beyond state of play?
It's just so funny to because, obviously doing a little bit of reflecting on this, 2013 is a very different time than now is, you know what I mean? Like, obviously not just like podcast wise, Star Trek wise, but personally, of course, I was in a very different place. I was still back home at the time.
You had hair?
I had hair. Yeah. A few pounds lighter, a few wrinkles less, but, all that sort of stuff. It's just really. And I remember, it was 09 really that kickstarted it for me, but even going into Darkness and stuff, but I was just listening to all the Star Trek podcasts I could. And I was like, man, I really want to participate in it and actually, help produce something and actually, be in something. And, the valleys and peaks that we've seen since then in terms of Star Trek content is interesting. And it definitely feels like now we're heading into a more, more of a valley for sure. But it's just to think back on 13 years of time is pretty wild.
Yeah, because I think for me, oddly, ironically perhaps, it was Into Darkness that got me re-engaged back into Trek fandom.
If it did that, it's worth it. It's all worth it.
Worth it. That Spock yelling Khan was all worth it.
No, geez, don't remind me.
Yeah. I always had my personal fandom. Don't get me wrong. But as far as seeking out others, I think that's when I sort of... I don't know if I'd listened to Trek podcasts before, if I'm going to be honest. But if I hadn't, I did it more so. And I think that's really got me involved. And
once you're a user, you start to listen to everything.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and because I think especially when we made the move from Earl Grey, just TNG, to Ceti Alpha, to all of Star Trek. Of course, we always referenced all of Star Trek, but not having to just come up with a TNG.
They were the shows that must not be named. If it's not TNG, we don't speak of it.
We were what? Worf was only in one show. We all know that.
He wore gold, dang it. And that's what well, maybe no red. No, never mind.
But I think a pre-Kurtzman era Star Trek, I mean, there was still plenty to talk about. It wasn't like we were like killing ourselves for topics. Because I mean, it's been more than that. But with just 50 years of Star Trek, it's more than that. But when we started, that there was enough to. I mean, I don't think I'd even watched all of the animated series at that time, and there was always
you could do that in an afternoon, Phillip. I mean, that's not
yeah, no one would have an excuse to not watch all of it for sure. Definitely.
I didn't have that much cereal at the time. But I think with even the Ceti Alpha doing this all of Star Trek, and then once you start adding shows, but I think to answer your question, it would have been odd if you had told me in like 2014, 15, by the way, there's going to be, I can't remember, 5? There's going to be 5 Star Trek shows in the next 5 years.
Right. Oh, yeah. None of us could have seen. I mean, we all hoped that there'd be. We even have episodes where we like pitched our ideas for new shows before, like you said, before the Kurtzman era. But now we're looking back on it, and it's kind of we're at the other end of the spectrum.
It's been a long road.
Yeah, there's still active shows going on, but it's not. It kind of feels like it's peaked.
There's one show.
Yeah. Well, there's one active show, and there's one in development, and there's a movie. So it's like it's not dead, but it's
Oh no, no. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying
it's winding down
from zero to this peak to
right. Well, it's just the same thing in the 90s. Like there was no Star Trek for decades after there were the movies, but no television. And then boom, like 90s Trek was like, oh my gosh, there's so much Trek. They're overlapping. There's 2 shows on at the same time. What do? We can't cross over.
We never mention anything in between the two of them.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, they had it. They had it all right there. They could have. I mean, maybe not Voyager. That's a little harder to do, but that was their own fault.
They went to Quark's bar.
In the pilot.
I'm just saying it was
Commander Riker showed up. I don't know what you're not.
I mean, it wasn't a bad. It's funny thinking of it now. Like, where should Voyager launch from? Maybe the giant station model that we spent so much on. Maybe we put it there.
I don't know. What if we just flip over the space dock? It could be that.
Oh gosh, yeah. The Earth space dock's upside down. No one will notice. It's the same model. Just
it's Outpost 55.
Yeah, totally different. Well, when I was looking through some of our Ceti Alphas, what were some of them? Oh man, I loved it. Just again, I was like, how did we come up with topics at the beginning? Because again, we were all kind of shooting things around, and it was very different time. Because again, we had just come from our very TNG focused show. So you're talking about like Starfleet uniforms, we're talking about Tuvix. We could talk about Tuvix, guys. We could do a whole episode or 3 on Tuvix if we wanted to. But I always liked when we kind of came up with, just different concepts or kind of shooting from the hip writer's room. And I think my first favorite one was episode 41 and 42, where we did the after credit scenes for all the movies.
Yes.
And I think wasn't it like General Chang was like a thread, like it was leading up to him showing up in Star Trek 6. Like he was the Klingon pulling all the strings, even from the motion picture. He was the Thanos of 1980 something.
Captain Claw, you did well.
Yeah, it's like in shadow. All you see are the 3 rivets in the shadow. Yeah. That was funny, and just. Again, I don't know why Star Trek shows or movies don't have after credit scenes. Why not? Everyone loves after credit scenes.
I mean, am I the only one who, as the movie ends and the credits come on, is pulling out my phone, Googling?
Is there an after credit
Do
scene?
I need to stay? Yes or no?
Does Into Darkness have an after credit scene?
None of them do they?
Maybe mid credit.
I
thought it had a mid credit, maybe.
Yeah, like something about the pods, and it was like a thing.
And then you
God,
see
I
it
could
like you see someone else wake up in the pod or something like that.
Phillips is shaking his head.
Well, I'm not.
If only there was
this
an
is news
internet
to
to look
Yes,
for. But yeah, and then
who else is there?
well, I don't know. It could be another pod person. Or we see him back in the pod. It's like he didn't die. He was put back or something.
Apparently not. I thought I remembered something about the pods. Like maybe it's at the very end.
Well, now we have to do the. Oh, never mind.
No.
Well, as far as topics, not that they're random, but one that I think maybe sometimes we get surprised by. We're like, okay, we'll do this topic, and is it a 5-minute discussion? Isn't it an hour?
Right.
And one that turns out to be 2 episodes long was our "What if Thomas Riker was in season 7?"
I love that one. Yes, that was episode 251 and 52, where we thought, oh, we could talk about this in a show. Nope, we need 2 parts. Like we had to call it. Yeah, well, that was right after Daniel did an episode on Thomas' second chance. Like we talked about second chances, and I think that got us all. Because that would happen often, too, where we would have a topic and a little subtopic would kind of emerge and we'd be like, oh, save it for its own episode because it's so good. And yeah, two episodes talking about time. I need to listen to that one again because we went deep. Like we changed a lot of things in season 7, like a lot of things.
Off the top of my head, and I haven't watched it in a second. I'll get to it eventually. Season 7, not, the greatest season of all time, but so I can't think of like, oh, there's going to be all these changing episodes of like, Data finds his mom, but apparently we got 2 episodes out of it.
Honestly, some of my favorite times are those like creative, like speculation episodes or making our own season episodes or making our own, like, I really enjoyed the creativity that came with those types of stuff. Like alternate universe episodes or what would have happened if this person came back. I always really thought those were fun to do.
Where's our short tricks?
Yeah. Well, there was one I was looking at in Earl Grey, and it was called Ensigns, ESIGNS, TNG fan series film. And I'm like, is that like basically Lower Decks in like 2016? But, well, the one, Daniel, that you came up with and used a bunch or did you come up with it or did I come up? No, Phillip did actually. No, Daniel. Gosh, I gotta.
Who knows?
One of us did.
One of 3, 2 of 3, or 3 of 3.
No. You started it, Daniel. It was in episode 83. Is it that bad?
Yes,
and you took us through, and you picked an episode from every series at the time of recording. So we had Spock's Brain, Move Along Home from DS9, Threshold from Voyager. These Are the Voyages from which I think we revisited later. And then I think we realized, we skipped TNG, so we went to Sub Rosa. And man, our poor listeners, because we were roughly on a 3 week cycle where each one of us would come up with the topic. So those were every 3 weeks. So our listeners who wanted more had to wait through, emergency holograms and gamma quadrant series, boring stuff. They wanted to talk about, is it that bad?
Is Code of Honor really that bad?
I think we got to that. So we had Star Trek 5. So we did the movie, and then Star Trek Into Darkness, we did the Kelvin verse. So we hit all the big franchise blocks, but I think we went back around. We did the motion picture. Phillip had that, episode 143, Decker's vacated quarters. And then I did another round. I'm trying to remember why. I think I just like the format. So I was like, let's do this again. It's been another 100 episodes. So in episode 206, we did TOS, The Savage Curtain, TNG, The Last Outpost, DS9, The Storyteller.
Turns out Last Outpost, that's a world builder, man.
Oh, man. Although that was 2021. So would that have been
in development?
That would have been before the game.
Released. Yep.
All right. So we had Storyteller, Voyager Spirit Folk, and Enterprise Unexpected. And I think, oh yeah, and then we did do Code of Honor in episode 311. So we've done about a dozen of Is It That Bad? And that was always a fun type of topic, like just, really giving it and some, were really, really bad. And some, like, I remember the first one with Spock's brain, and we all kind of like changed our minds on it. We're like, this is actually not terrible. It needs, I think we added a tiny bit to the plot and it was 10 times better. I don't remember what we added,
we fixed it. I remember that, And it wasn't that dramatic. It was just like one little thing.
It was some very, very tiny and minor.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but
it was also interesting to see as new Trek. I don't even know if you would call that.
Kurtzman Trek.
Yeah, weird. New Trek is the movies, so Kurtzman Trek. I mean, we can call it whatever we want, but Kurtzman Trek. We did episode by episode reviews, so it was kind of funny going like Disco episode 1 and Picard season 1, and
we did all of Discovery, right? No, we didn't.
Well, it's interesting how I looked at it but memorized it, but like I think we did the first 2 seasons of Disco.
We did the first 2, then we did Picard season 1.
Did we? And we stopped after that, right? Did we? I don't think.
Well, let's see. We did. No, I'm looking right now. So we had. We had Lower Deck season 1.
As far as episode by episode, there were times when we would be like generically, right. How's the season going?
We did Discovery season 3, all of season 3, and then we did Lower Decks 2.
Oh boy.
And then Picard season 3. So we skipped Picard season 2 and anything after Discovery.
Or did
3.
we just time travel into it?
Yes, we did. So we did what we wanted because it's our show. We could do whatever we want.
We didn't do Strange New Worlds episode by episode.
Yeah, even though we all like it.
I think that might have been one where we did like a first 5. Yeah. We talked about things like that. Like Lower Deck. I should mark it here. Yeah, Lower Decks like season 5, 1 through 4. We did, and then we did like the second. We did like the first and the second half.
How far apart are Prodigy episodes? Like a year?
Oh, jeez, it was a long time, Philip. A long time.
But we saved it, right? Did we save it?
No,
we didn't save it.
I don't.
No, I don't. I wouldn't hold your breath, Philip.
Okay.
Well, one of the other ones I listened to just a little bit of it last night is our 200th episode. Because I'm like, what did we do for 200? It was so long ago, guys. It was like over 100 episodes ago. And that was our Star Trek holiday special where we each pitched a different holiday. And mine was a Klingon Christmas with K's. And it was, and you were just, Philip, you were besides yourself going, wait. So Star Trek 4, the most popular Star Trek movie is out, but the executives were like, no, we need more of Star Trek 3. Bring that Klingon captain back. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what the executives would do. And they were just, using the whatever sets they had available, decorating the cargo bay. All the Klingons spoke in Klingon with no subtitles, or they had subtitles, but they were in Klingon. It was gloriously terrible. But we learned, Kirk had a open shirt that said Happy Hanukkah. But it was cool. And then you guys came up with, I think it was like a telethon and another Christmas special. So that was a fun one. I always liked, again, like you said, our crazy ideas that would never actually happen. God forbid.
But like a good short Trek, and this is only top of head, is when we were, pitching a new series, and this is not the name of it, but Star Trek Admirals, and we came up with the, it wasn't space golf, but it was close to that, where most of the action was going to happen with the Admirals at the space golf course.
Was it on the moon or something, I feel like?
I think it was on the moon.
I think it was.
Like Armstrong or something?
Yeah.
That's where it was.
No, I remember. I'll have to find which episode that was, because, I remember we did because again, we've talked a lot about admirals. We've talked about all sorts of just different aspects that pop out in not just TNG, but in Star Trek in general. What was it? Yeah, I also listed the Thomas Riker season 7 2-part. I'm like, man, we had a lot to say about that. And then I always enjoyed, I subjugated you guys to let's take an entire season 4, always season 4 for some reason, and whittle it down to 10 episodes. Let's give it the Lower Decks treatment of, we don't have time for character development. We don't have time for these flack episodes of, exploring and discovery. We need to hone it to all the gems. And somehow we magically picked the 10 best episodes. So that was for DS9, TNG, and Voyager, all season 4, taking 26 episodes down to 10, which sometimes was harder than we thought, and sometimes was blatantly easy because it was very obvious which ones were the cream of the crop.
It'd be interesting. We're not going to do this, but it'd be interesting to do a bar graph or pie graph of series that we talked about. Like, how much did we talk about series?
That's a good question.
Because with something I was writing down was, this is not necessarily about us per se, but sort of Star Trek fandom. Thinking about it during the time we've been podcasting, one of the things I wrote down was Enterprise still the forgotten series? Because I think, in the 2010s, even then, it was almost like Enterprise was almost like the motion picture, like it'd be rediscovered every 5 to 10 years. You see, which I'm not trying to slag off it, but you'd see people suddenly posting oh, Enterprise just found out about this, and then I think even now in 2020s, it's still you would go TNG, DS9, maybe Disco, maybe Lower Decks. People would probably not talk about Enterprise till the 8th series. And like I said, I'm not trying to dog on it or anything, but I think it still remains the forgotten series in a lot of respects.
Yeah, it's definitely one where there's a lot of people who didn't give it a shake when it first came out. And yeah, some of those people are rediscovering it and going, oh, this is actually not that bad. Although I did just see a article that listed all Trek series in order of greatness. I'm like, oh, this is going to be terrible. And they had Enterprise very low, and they're this, show never figure out where it was going. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what the point of this article is. So I stopped reading, but
hey, we got Jolene in
there's a whole new crop who's going to be hey, who's this Vulcan? There's a whole show about her? That's amazing. Oh, there's no Curzon? Okay, well, maybe it's not that. No.
And they have the uniforms in Lower Decks.
That's
lots
true.
of Enterprise love in Lower Decks.
Oh, lots. Even in Strange New Worlds, there's the episode, it's the Lower Decks crossover where they talk about the piece of the Enterprise, the NX-01, and all of the Strange New Worlds crew are geeking out over the NX-01 because for them that's the original Enterprise, So yeah, I think they've been trying to give Enterprise its fair shake in callbacks and stuff since then, and I'm glad for that because it was a good show that I enjoyed.
There are still, and we've written or pitched shows for it, but I think there's still 2 lost eras of the Trek timeline. Well, I suppose now you would include between Discovery jumps, so you have 1,000 years, but not counting that. But you still have sort of the early to mid 24th century, which I don't know, maybe we'll get that in section 31. And then you have sort of that era that we talked about with sort of post Enterprise, and I know we keep making prequels, so we'll say pre-Discovery. But
that area feels very full, did.
But you still don't have what would be a Columbia series, or when was the first You could still do something between that 100 years or 80 years or something.
Scott Bakula's still kicking around.
Oh, yeah.
We did pitch Archer as a series.
Yeah, let's get a President Archer show. Come on.
Yeah. I think he was Councilman Archer in our series, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Running for president.
It was something like that. Yeah.
It was kind of a West Wing style, maybe.
Yes.
Like you're seeing his campaign. That would have been. Oh, that would have been great. Oh, if only we could re-listen to that. Yeah, we could. What do you think, Daniel? What was some of your, and it can be a specific episode or just in general, and it can also be, Earl Grey. There's still a few I want to call out. Or here.
Well, I'm going to actually bring up, and I don't know if this was, I don't remember what episode. Well, I'm sure we talked about it though. But I just wanted to bring up the anniversary where we actually got to all hang out together in real life in Las Vegas.
Yes,
Trek 50. Yes.
Yeah. I'm 1,000% sure we did a show right after
we
that.
did. So that was the very end of Earl Grey. We did Captain Proton's Revenge, and we recorded a live Captain Proton Elementary Dear Data rewrite. As we were all, I remember we put the microphone on a pillow in the middle of a table. We all sat around it and hoped it recorded because we got one shot.
It was sort of the Enterprise D conference level length tables. We were
I think it was it? Or I remember it being round. It felt more like we were at the poker table,
okay.
But it was glass, so we're all like not touching it to cause vibrations, and it was a very interesting dynamic. I think I had mentioned to you guys when I first met you, or any of us podcasters in real life, there's kind of a weird, I call it like podcast voice, where there's a disjoining where you're like, oh my gosh, that sound is coming out of that person that's right in front. Like, it's really surreal for like a couple hours and then it fades, but it's like someone walked up and they open their mouth and it's like a speaker, and you have this disconnect between what you're hearing and what you're seeing, because you're like, oh my gosh, we're in real life.
Well, I think part of that is like, obviously you're just used to hearing this person over speakers, which there is kind of a weird distortion there.
That's true.
But also people generally don't talk. They talk a little bit different in real life than they would like on this sort of a format. So I think there's a couple of elements of that.
I don't know what you're talking about, Daniel. I always talk like this when in real life. Just put a little bit of smoothness in the good old voice, and everyone will talk to me after this.
Yep. Previously on Ceti Alpha.
Yes. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was. It took us all going to Vegas, and we had some in and out. We drove the strip, got some great pictures with the Borg alcoves.
Get to the important part.
Okay, some of us were wearing
Klingon Challenge.
Yes,
the Star Trek Interactive VCR board game.
That was I think Tristan did Tristan win that? I can't remember.
I don't remember
who won, but that was, and the party that kept shutting down. Because we were too loud.
And later was Star Trek Seen It.
Yeah, Star Trek Seen It. We had our Super Bridge Mates, our panel show. Yeah. And one of us, I won't say who, walked around in a Star Wars costume for an afternoon, and people love pictures of that.
And little did you know you would be encountering R2-D2.
Oh gosh, that was so funny.
That was the funniest thing, because people kept saying R2-D2's over there. And we're kind of like, very funny.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
No,
oh, you're not lying. You're not lying.
Yeah, he's really there.
Gosh, I think because the one I was trying to think back to, that would have been 2016.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think because now I've been to a lot more conventions and things like that. Is there anything I wish I had done in that convention? Like autographs I would have gotten. Man, autographs were probably a lot cheaper back in 2016. Because the only one I got was Robert O'Reilly signing my interactive VCR board game Klingon Challenge box, which is still amazing, but I don't remember because we went to a couple of the panels. I remember I did, at least.
We went to Whoopi Goldberg. Well, I think we all went. I can't remember if it was.
Yeah, there was
Whoopi Goldberg, and that was her first panel at Star Trek.
And I loved how they had the cargo bay door insert in the back that open up and people would come out, and it was a good time. And then it was a lot of
just
fun.
going to the I don't know what to call it. So no insult meant, but the B class room
Oh yeah,
they had
not the main hall, not the main hall.
no.
Yeah,
Where they but you would have all the celebrities, which I mean, look, all Star Trek celebrities are A to me, but I mean, you'd be like, oh, there's who's played
right.
Commander Shelby, or there's who played Admiral Nechayev, or there's and then
That's true.
So
And back then, if you were in that list, like you had no line, you could just walk up and strike up a conversation, and they didn't necessarily ask you to buy something. Like it was a different time. Like nowadays, like you couldn't even get into that hall unless you showed a ticket showing you had bought, a photo or an autograph or something.
It was pre all the new stuff too. So yeah, Star Trek was kind of like probably at like a low point in terms of popularity. So yeah, there was not like all that sort of restrictions there. It was a great time. I mean, that was 2016, and then I think it was later this summer was when Discovery got announced for the first time. I think.
I think so.
Yeah, because I saw we had an episode where we talked about the Discovery trailer. So that would have been.
Now I want to listen to that.
Yeah,
guys, I'm so excited about.
I will say I always hated the ship. I always did not like.
I'm trying to remember if they announced it at Star Trek Las Vegas.
No,
it wasn't, because we would have remembered that.
Yeah,
that's what, we would have been there, and we weren't.
And it was it the year after that they announced that Patrick Stewart showed up for Picard?
I think so. I think that was the year after that, because he wasn't there then either. So,
but yeah, and of course, Daniel, not to leave you out. Then there was a subsequent time when I was in LA for a Doctor Who convention. And Darren visited, and Dr. Trek, Larry Nemechek, happened to be presenting.
Oh, that's right.
Con. So what ended up happening is, of course, Darren and Larry ended up in my hotel room, of course, with my wife, Jessica. But we were basically doing an almost, not recording, but basically did like a 2-hour-long Star Trek podcast, at 1 a.m.
We were just
my hotel
gushing
room.
about it. Yeah.
Darren, Larry, and me. And I remember this was out because
it's a lost episode. So, Yeah. Well, I think I was
filling in for you, Daniel.
Okay, that's good.
Was I lamenting not getting to go to the Star Trek Discovery kickoff event because I was too far back in line, because I remember waiting in line for that and then not getting in because it got closed off before I got in, and a lot of people were upset that day. But yeah, no. Well, and then I almost visited Daniel just this last year when I was relatively close to you in the DC Metroplex. But that's why we have the internet.
Visited Daniel
Phillip
before
that's
I left
right.
the country.
That's right.
So that was,
You make it so hard, Phillip. Now we got to go to the
I did
UK.
it equally. I met with you.
Yes.
I met with Daniel at his home.
You're not wrong, Phillip. You're not wrong.
I can't help it that you're divorced, and I have to do the separate visits.
Equal time.
Stay together.
Just equal time is all I ask for.
Another thing that sticks out to me, though, is when we got to interview Marina.
Yes, and her burrito cooking ways. Yes, I remember. It's like we heard the little beep 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 beep, and I texted you, and I'm like, "Is that her microwave going on in the background?" I mean, hey, whatever. We are not A-tier podcasters, so if she's even on the show, I don't care.
I can't believe I actually did. I hope I wasn't bad about it, but I did not confront her, but I did bolster my opinion on her about Riker and Troy not working in real life.
I'm sure she's like, "Yeah, I've heard it all. Yeah, you're great. I can't hear you over the sound of my bean
what was that?
Yeah. But I'm trying to think. Did we have anyone else besides her? I remember we had. I feel like we had one or two other stars. They were not top tier, but
the only other people that come to mind are some other randoms. I know this is not trying to
those randos,
Yeah, but you brought in your friend Darren, and we talked creating a Star Trek escape room.
Oh yeah, my friend Zach Lavoie, who had worked at escape rooms, and that one was really fun. Where we're like, oh man, we should take this on the road to Star Trek Las Vegas and share it. It was It was very meta because it was like you were in the holodeck, and so you could actually access the panel and like move isolinear chips and access like command override or something like that. Oh, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's true. We would bring in occasional guests in general, but it was very rare. It was we already got 3 people to yab, and we don't need a fourth.
Once you're stranded on the planet, it's like Gilligan's Island. You didn't have like the Harlem Globetrotters, and
I was going to say earlier on, we definitely did lots and lots and lots of sort of like crossover stuff with other shows.
Oh, that's true.
So plenty of friends that we made along the way, like you obviously just mentioned, Tristan and Vegas and stuff like that. And we met, how many people we saw there, and just over the years, like lots and lots of people, lots of other podcasters, lots of people that we got to chat with and have conversations with and become friends with, all talking Star Trek. So
that's true. We had a guest column in our spreadsheet for Earl Grey, and our first guest was Houston Huddleston. Yes.
Oh my goodness,
that's aged well. Oh man,
that's funny.
Oh.
We want to emphasize that was Darren's. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
Well, and it was about the new starship, which was like the bridge restoration. Oh, you guys, that the whole thing, it so fell apart. It's just. Did you guys hear what happened to like the museum that it tried to change into? So. It basically tried to set up for a moment, and then they had their opening, but it was all outside because they couldn't get permission to be inside their building, and then it all fell apart. Like the people who own the building decided to sell it. It was just, the more I stayed away from that, the more happier I was. I'm like, I don't want to touch that.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, and we don't have to say the word, but it's not the worst Star Trek fundraising project that exists.
That's true. That's true. But like the crossovers when we were on Earl Grey, I like the fact that we tried to cross over a lot with our other sister shows about Trek. So we had the Standard Orbit crew on.
So you're saying TNG was not the only thing we've been talking about?
Well, it was. Oh man, I forget those ad reads we had to do at the end.
Some other,
but we had Standard Orbit talk about Generations. We had To the Journey crew to talk about Q.
Well, those are the interesting ones where we would do like Generations, and we would go on the TOS show to talk about the TOS side, and then bring on the TOS folks to talk the TNG side of Generations. And then we did the same thing with Worf, where we did Worf with the DS9 people on TNG, and then we went on their show.
Worf on the Orb.
DS9. Yeah.
We did. We talked with Larry about TNG casting, and he told us some good stories. We had Andy on quite a few times.
Oh yeah.
Pre Woman at Warp. Was she on Woman at Warp?
I think it was when she was still just when she was just first time Trek on Twitter.
Yeah, that's right.
In those innocent days of Twitter.
We had Shar on a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we had the To the Journey crew on for Bridgemates a couple of times as they schooled us in our own house. Had the Warp 5 crew.
Sort of all culminated in my brain, like all of that crossover stuff was like when we did, was it the 100th episode or whatever it was?
Yes,
where
it was the 100th.
It was the 100th episode.
All ships are big shuttles. The EGT and G RPG. Oh man,
and
many.
Again,
I just put under guest. I put many hosts.
All the credit goes to Phillip, right? Phillip
yes.
was the one that ran that thing, and that was a beast of a.
And kept part of it secret. You pulled it all together.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's a highlight for me for sure. That was so much fun.
Oh yeah, no, that was cool. Just with all of the, although I love that one, but there's one episode that gets me even more. That when we were doing the RPG, which one was it? But that one I think had the best crossovers. But for me, gotta find Cardassians. I can't remember which show it was on, but the one where we were doing RPG again, and it was the Cardassian sunrise, and it's during the Dominion War, and Daniel, your character goes into a bar, sits down, and basically orders the most insensitive drink for that moment in Trek history ever. And you're like, I order Canadian Sunrise, and I look
it's
at you.
World War
thinking,
II. He's walking into the French cafe like, can you guys play some Wagner? You guys not? You not?
Can I have a good German beer right now here in Free France? That's what I really would hit the spot. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I think I said like I'd have a Bud Light Classic or something like that. Oh man. And I just remember it because once we realized what had happened, we like couldn't talk for like 5 minutes. We were laughing so hard. So that I will never forget that faux pas, Daniel. Or not you, your character.
That's right, my guy, my Andorian dude.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, he was an Andorian. Oh geez. But yeah, no, there was, there was, besides Bridgemates and things like that, episode 128 of Earl Grey, Star Trek Stream. Oh my gosh. We had Aaron Harvey on.
It is probably every 6 months I try to find that logo of the cover art.
It's so good. It's so good. I remember Aaron telling me years later that, was it Mike McMahon who did Lower Decks?
Lower Decks, yeah.
I thought it was Aaron. Or was it Mike McMahon? Okay, yeah.
It might have been him or someone else connected with Lower Decks said later after the show had started, they saw his artwork and they wished they had done that boot style because they liked it so much with the... Now, granted, I have nothing wrong with the boots, on Lower Decks, but that was just, we were rolling in the 90s vibe on that one.
It would have been even cooler, if he, while in the last episode, while they're going through the
probability field. Yes. Star Trek Stream pops up for a second. Oh my gosh.
Shax is on a skateboard.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
No, it's one of the Cetacean Ops is on a skateboard. Because that's true. Captain Flipper had to be on one.
It was so perfect because, obviously having Aaron on because with his expertise about cartoons and all that sort of stuff.
There were no other cartoons at the time.
And it was just it just turned into such a perfect little silly episode. And then to have him do that stuff, because he would do that often. Like a lot of times back then he would make art of some of the stuff we were talking about. And it was always gold. It was always good stuff. But that was peak. That was like, we could have put our mics down.
Both of my cloth bags featuring this. Look, I'm not a big sport guy, but
the Bridgemates logos, yes.
No. The Starboard Sharks,
yeah,
oh yeah,
and the Portside
Panthers.
Yes.
Yeah, Portside Panthers and Starboard Sharks. Oh, yes. What episode was that from?
That's not Bridgemates. That's the internal Enterprise sports rivalry.
Yes.
I don't remember the episode.
That would have it was early. I think the episode is called like Starboard Sharks Rules or something like that.
And then there was the and I don't even know who the dude person was, where we stumbled upon years later the YouTube video of the person who created the main shuttle bay of the Enterprise D and had one of those logos on the floor.
It was they had made it virtually and like as you're going around in the shuttle bay and it's like right there on the floor and we're like, what is happening? What is going on?
That was one of the most crazy moments because it's like that's such a deep cut for someone to not only listen,
right,
but also love it enough to put it inside the ship.
Well, here I'll give the episode, and then there's something else I want to mention. So that was episode of Earl Grey 93, Portside Rules, Starboard Drools, and we weren't even talking about that. We were talking about single use sets. I was where I was listing all and I think what was happening
it was the
nacelle, like the little room inside of it. And we were they're competing between the port and starboard nacelles. Oh man. But there was also, I don't remember her name, but there was a lady who cosplayed as a Star Trek Stream costume at Star Trek Las Vegas. And that was another thing of like, so you listened to the show, saw the artwork, and were like, I want to take the time to make that into a costume. And I remember us being floored. But yeah, I'd forgotten about port side rules, starboard rules. That's another gem.
Well, I think a Ceti Alpha 3 creation was the docking ports competition on Deep Space Nine. That
I'm trying to remember that one.
The folks that lived on the different ends of the docking ports, who I guess.
Oh yes, the upper pylon, like
yes.
A, B, and C, and they'd be like, oh yeah, but to like compete, they'd have to go all the way down, all the way over, and all the way back up. Yes, upper pylon shenanigans.
You don't want to be a part of the upper.
Oh yes, it was episode 273, Lower Pylons. It was the DS9 Lower Decks episode.
Oh yes.
So we were like, who would be the lower decks of DS9? We're like, the pylons are the lowest thing on the station, and it actually was really
from
funny.
A certain point of view, aren't they the upper pylon?
That's true. Well, Terok Nor, they're the west pylon, or not Empok Nor. They're the west pylon and the east pylon, not the north and the south. They're like, what is the galactic plane? No one knows. Oh, that'd be so funny. Yeah, no, we talked a lot about Prodigy. We talked about a 5th TNG movie. Oh man, that would have been fun.
I mean, it's called Picard season 3. So.
Oh, that's true. We that was before Picard season 3 was a thing. Actually, it was right before we started talking about it.
I'm curious. This is a sort of Star Trek future, something I wrote down. And, it's not for us to answer because it'll be people younger than us. But I wonder, as someone, who's watching Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, and the black and whites and the lost episodes. But y'all are more graphically oriented than I am as far as video and Blu-ray and all that. But do you think, like, say, DS9 and Voyager being an SD will hurt future Legacy when they start producing new things? It'll be like TNG and Enterprise, and maybe Enterprise gets rediscovered because that's on, the new formats. But will that be harder, these episodes, because it looks so washed out and yucky and,
Well, I have a opinion. Do you have a thought on that, Daniel? I want to give you a chance to go first.
I was just thinking, I saw a clip somebody posted the other day, or not even the other day, it was probably a few weeks back now, of some AI upscaling that they had done on a clip of Voyager. And I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So I don't think that, the TNG Blu-rays were a big deal. Then they put a lot of money and stuff into it. I think in a few years, it's going to be easy enough for them to just sort of press the HD button and it just sort of HDifies. So we'll be fine at that point. I don't think we're going to lose out on a Voyager.
So is it going to be like your I don't even know the better, Daniel, like your Xbox 360 still plays your Xbox games?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, backwards compatible.
Yeah, I agree. I think eventually in the next 5 or so years, we'll get to a point with AI where it can upscale, and you're going to have a huge renaissance of like all this old stuff, or maybe even if it's able to like, take an episode of Little House on the Prairie or something and like upscale it, to modern standards. Or heck, I've seen it was on like TikTok or other vertical videos where people would take small scenes and they would use AI to make it vertical. So they would so the middle of the image is the actual shot, but they would add top and bottom like generatively to make the framing change. So yeah, all that to say, it has been a limit to it. But I think the fact that also physical media is kind of going away, like companies are not selling Blu-ray players anymore, so I think everything is going to be streaming. And so that, I think, in a way, I don't know. I was going to say lowers the cost to transmit it, but you also then don't get the sales to drive the cost of the restoration. So I don't know. I agree with Daniel though. I think eventually we will see,
we have the technology.
We will have the technology to make Voyager and DS9. I think DS9 it would happen to first. I think it has the biggest calling. It has the most desire. Because we've seen it. I don't know how they did it. I forget. I mean, I own a Blu-ray set of Babylon 5, which was not shot on film, or maybe it was. I can't recall if it might have been shot on film, but all of the special effects were definitely done on computer. Yeah. So, and that's also the problem that Babylon 5 has, is it is shot on film. So you could restore all the interiors, but every single, shot, not every single, but many shots, especially in later seasons, are all CG. So that's the curse of CG comes back at you.
When do you think they'll put us in HD?
Audio HD? No, just don't touch the mic. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can buy the CA3 complete series. It'll be out next week on Hard Media. So
jeez,
20 CDs.
20 CDs.
More than that, 356 episodes, Philip. That's
it's data. It's not actually. Yeah.
It's an MP3 CD.
I burned it.
I got
CD.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You still have your what were they called? Zap drives? That's not what they were called.
Oh, zip drives.
Zip drives?
Zip drives, yes.
But zip drives were 100 megabytes, which was huge. And then you had what was it? I remember one thing that was like a gigabyte. Was it a gigabyte? I can't even remember. But yeah, 100 megabytes was huge. That was like many floppies. It was just a big floppy is how it looked.
Well, Daniel, this is an essay question, but here's your 30-second answer. We've done on both shows, but especially this one, we've done a lot of Star Trek games.
Yes.
Earl Grey, we did learn there's a function for the shift key.
Still not over that, Philip. Still not over that.
Oh, Jesus. But what's your future of Star Trek gaming? Because I mean, my 30 seconds will just be, I don't think we need a lot. I mean, like, would it be cool to have a huge game, whatever that means when I'm saying that, open world, whatever. But Resurgence was not a big game, and it's almost like a small one-shot play, but it was still cool. So I don't know what from what we've seen in the past
was
10
more
years.
RPG-ish, which I think worked for it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that it definitely feels like we're getting to like regular releases at this point, which is nice. Like, it doesn't have, like you say, it doesn't have to be like a big, ginormous AAA open world game or anything like that. Resurgence is kind of perfect, like in terms of scope, because you just tell that story and then make a nice little presentation and game out of it, and you're good to go. I will say, and I don't know if you guys have seen these leaks or not, so spoilers if anybody cares. But there have been rumors swirling around about a Star Trek Lego collaboration. In fact, we've seen some plans about the Enterprise D, I guess. And which to me sparks in my brain, let's go Lego Star Trek, the video game, in which you could do lots of stuff.
Oh, man.
So much fun. I've been waiting for that for years.
That's like the Lower Decks vibe, but for everything else. Oh, man. That's a great idea.
That'd be amazing. You could do. I mean, obviously, you could
build them.
I'm just picturing Picard or Data running around in that little Lego Bobby action, and that's
you're on the board cube, and it's
Data takes off his head and swaps it with Lore, and as he's trying to. Oh man, that's gold. I would love to see that. Yeah, I did see that Lego news or rumor, I guess at this point still, but fairly solid rumor. And I don't know how I feel about it. Like, obviously it's a cool thing having it in Lego, but in a way we've had Mego or Brick or whatever it's called. Like, we've had Star Trek Lego for a while. So I'm trying to think of what Lego would do to improve on that.
It's Lego, Darren.
I know.
Lego.
I know. I got tons of Lego. I have so much Lego in front of me. But
I mean, yeah.
I guess I'm concerned that they're going to have the Enterprise D, and then I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to look at what was made by other companies and be like, what's really the difference? Like, do you have a sauce? Like, it's made in the exact same way.
$200.
Well, yes, I will know that difference, but who's know? I'm trying not to judge it before it comes out, and we'll see. But maybe if it separates, saucer separation, that could be kind of cool.
Separated.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
A generation.
Okay, the secondary hull is gonna have a warp breach. Boom, and the primary hull is gonna.
My big brother's always coming in here doing generations to my Enterprise G. And then I have to be like LaForge and
if
I don't care too much about the actual set, but if it leads to a Lego Star Trek game, I will have a very good day that day. So.
It's a good day to play. Yeah, because one other sort of future of Star Trek thing I wrote down was future Trek merch, and then I wrote just ships ? Which I don't want to complain about the ships, because I mean that is cool.
Look how many ships we've gotten. Yeah,
I have several behind me here. Which is not. I would always be like, oh, that's not my thing. But then they made good ones, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do it. And then, like if that Protostar comes out, I'm gonna grab that thing.
I still want that Sagan class. Like that's the only one I want from the newest line.
But like and I'm not pretending like I know 100% of everything, and also I'm not counting like collector stuff like, oh, here's our $300 Gull Avec bust that we made. Like I don't
Who would buy that?
So I know we have the new line of figures, which I haven't heard any updates, but anyway, that's theoretically coming out about the figures you never thought you cared about. That line will be coming out. And then like little stuff, which I know that this is kind of old at this point, but it's sort of like, okay, this came out and then, but like they had the Nerf phaser and then the Nerf phaser rifle, which I think the cost finally came down probably because, they just have a bunch.
And unfortunately, they Borgified the rifle and everyone's like, how can I use this with my cosplay?
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's my, just thought because of what the future of Star Trek merch, which we've talked about several times, but it's just really because with Lego, it just makes me think, oh, Star Trek Lego. I'm glad you came around to what Star Wars did 20 years ago. So good, congrats.
25 years ago, Phillip. That's been, but yes, well, they just want to make money, but it's it's so interesting.
Yeah. Because Star Wars is so cash poor.
Well, no, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking for Lego, it's fairly documented that the Star Wars line in '99 saved Lego, they were in trouble. But it's so different. I mean, we talk about the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars a lot.
Yeah, and there's a difference.
But I think the real difference, as far as Lego goes, is Star Trek is very capital ship, like big ships, like how you represent them. Whereas Star Wars is lots of fighter ships, like little ships, and so I just
shuttles.
Yes, big shuttles. But oh man, a Lego runabout. Oh, that would be nice. That'd be the right size. That'd be like this size.
Well, the way you could do that with Lego Runabout is because of because I'm not a diehard Runabout person, but I know that they're all modular in as much as
sled
looks like this, and the Yancey Curie looks like you just change the top part.
Yeah, they'd probably make it in the set where you could change the roll bar. It's like this is the Rio Grande, and this one's not.
Yeah.
Defiant. It's also hard because a lot of Star Trek ships are very curvy and not very blocky, and Legos are, I don't know how to tell you guys, they're blocky.
Except the one-piece Borg ship. Which one piece.
It's just like the square, and it has the two things on top. It's just the Borg cube.
Yep, done. Easiest collab ever.
Really far away. $50, please. $50, please.
How has someone not done that as a GIF or little picture on the internet of just mock up of the one Lego block Borg cube, $200 or something?
Well, or you could do some mix and matching. Imagine if you spent a little more on it, an Enterprise A or movie Enterprise, I guess, that you could detach the secondary and swap around the nacelles and make it a Miranda class, with just
I thought you were going to sell them the Enterprise A, and then you could take one piece off, and then it's the movie refit Enterprise.
It's the refit. Look at that,
guys. Two ships in one.
Some extra tiles. Yeah. Or it's a gift with purchase. Is the A tile to change it from?
Yeah, they sell the refit, and then like the A tile is
$50. Yeah,
yeah, I know.
And then there's like little teeny shuttle pods to like you can attach with one stud, onto the side. Like, here we're coming. Here's the Enterprise crew crying. Yay!
Warning, may take an hour and a half for it to make it.
Lego could do a really good space dock. Either the round one, the mushroom one, or the wrapped around light show.
I'm also thinking of you could do. I'm trying to think. You'd have the original Enterprise, and then you'd have the conversion kit to make it the Enterprise refit. And I think it's the instructions would be eight pages or 20 pages, and then by the time you finish, you realize you've just taken every part off and put a new part on, and it's just been
I was gonna say they're different enough. Well, because Lego does that a lot with rebuilds and alternative models. Because you'd have to change out the sauce or the deflector dish,
everything.
You'd have to make the biggest change would be the pylons would now be a different angle, and the whole warp nacelle is very different. But besides that, the rest wouldn't really have to change.
You take the Kirk head off that one, and then you put it on the new uniform.
And you got a little Decker figure that gets rebuilt into the upgrades.
Oh, no.
That would be fun.
McCoy figure included, unwillingly
on protest. Yeah, no, I'm glad we chatted a little bit about the Lego, because that was kind of the most recent news that we hadn't chatted about.
So, 2025 and beyond, as we've mentioned, we have Section 31 will come. And then we will have Strange New Worlds.
Season 3.
Yes. I was just trying to think if they've announced the date. I don't think they have. Maybe they haven't. I just don't remember.
3. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Season 3, right? Of Strange New Worlds?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Only been 2. Don't get excited, Daniel. There's only so much track.
It's been renewed till season 5, right?
I think they have renewed at least season 4. They bought it, and they're selling it.
Who knows, right? Because if you'd asked us, 3 years before most of these things begin, we'd never guess it. But attempts are being made at Star Trek movies. What I mean by attempt, even I don't know. But there's dates on movie release schedules. There's writers mentioned. I don't even think directors, but anyway. So there's rumors of mill. So I don't know. I guess it's better rumors than nothing, because at least it's a live property versus not being a live property. And then of course we have this Academy show, which is building and building and building and building. Gee, be crazy. It's like the Titanic. They've been investing so much into it. Hopefully a better result. But anyway, that's 26, if that. Just the way it's going. So not necessarily. And I'm not saying there has to be, but not necessarily very active Star Trek stuff, which fine. Look, I remember the days one series was on the air and we were all happy about it. So that's not a complaint.
You'll take it and you'll like it.
10 episodes. So then it's going to be quiet after that. But.
Yeah, looking through all the series, and it's I remember the heyday of 170 something episodes for a season or a series, or whatever they call it in the UK, Phillip. But yeah, no, I'm glad that Trek is still going and trekking on. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering, since Discovery ended, how long is Academy going to go? Or is that going to be kind of the finale for another span of time? But I think Trek will always circle back around. Paramount won't let it die, that's for sure. Which is good.
Yes, and the Paramount version 2.0 or 3.5 or whatever they're going to be on will start, theoretically, whenever the sale is official. I mean, it's official, but it's not official. And because once it's official, then new leadership will then do whatever they want to do.
What properties do we have? We have Star Trek, sir. Oh, yes. Cancel everything that's going on right now and start a new show in my image. It's kind of what happens.
I mean, it's Skydance, so it's not like, there's people that hate Star Trek or anything. So
yeah,
that's true.
Still, we will see.
Because they were involved in the movies, right?
Yeah. So yeah, whether because again, I don't read the Wall Street Journal or anything, but like what little I've seen, I've seen headlines and read quick stories of it that they're investing still in Paramount Plus. So I mean that was an open question whether that was going to exist in 3 months. So things may change, but it still seems to be going.
We've just been sold, and your Paramount Plus subscription is now twice as expensive. And yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because they're bundling at least, and I like my UK version, and I don't know what y'all will have.
How it is for us,
available.
Not a UK version, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, as far as I don't know what they bundle it with Paramount Plus, ESPN. I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head.
That's Disney,
or Showtime
yes.
or Stars or
Yeah, that's true. We might see some consolidation, like Max and Paramount combine or something.
Paramax.
Because like MTV,
and it's still just called Max, and everyone's like, "Why? Why? That doesn't mean anything."
Because MTV's with Paramount. I don't know how, but I don't know who MTV's parent company is because
I don't know.
I know
Viacom.
One thing I like about one show, it's a trash show, and
Turner Entertainment. Let's bring
I'll
it back.
admit it. But my wife and I like to watch The Challenge, which is an MTV reality show. But that's on Paramount Plus, so I can watch Lower Decks and then some trash TV show.
as it was intended. Yep.
We'll make sure you get a good bundle, Philip. That's all that matters.
Yeah, because it's an open question. It's not like because I'm like, oh, I hate whatever. It's not like that. But it's like, it's an extra $6 I can save a month. But after Section 31 comes out, I promised myself I'd finish Discovery. And
that's on you, Philip. You could totally do that if you want to.
And when the problem on top of that for me is that I just finished season 1, so I gotta have to watch 2, 3, 4.
Do you?
You again, totally on you, Philip. If you want
but that's
to.
My long way of saying I don't know if I'll keep Paramount Plus, but of course I don't win Strange New World. By the time I figured out, Strange New Worlds will probably be coming out. So
that's true. They have been pretty good about dripping Trek out just enough to keep those rolling subscriptions, but
yeah. Well, once that's done, though, the tubes are empty. Yeah. So
it's their flagship up with for sure.
Shorter Treks.
Baby Trek, micro Trek.
Yeah, come in next week for the next 30 seconds of this episode.
Star Trek Vines.
Oh, jeez. Vertical Star Trek Vines. Oh, man. Okay. No. All right. Well, this has been a fun trip down the memory holodeck, maybe? No, memory lane.
Fun 356 episodes.
That's right. I think I did the math. So adding in Earl Grey, I think we've podcasted around 510 episodes. Oh my gosh, that's a long.
That's not including any crossovers.
So listeners, we're challenging you. Start your re-listens now. No, I'm just kidding. We would not do that. There's a secret message if you listen to every third episode in the very beginning. But it's been a lot of fun and a lot of fun reminiscing.
That was just
yeah, I know we never got our Ceti Alpha 3 decoder rings, but that's all right. The decoder ring is 1A, 2B, 3 destruct, and if you say it, then the podcast ends. But it's been it's been a lot of fun. It's been fun chatting about things that we enjoy. Sometimes getting feedback, sometimes finding your work integrated in video games or cosplay. You never know what's going to happen. But hopefully it's been fun for our listeners too, which I know we don't have the most feedback of any show in general, but I know there are people out there listening and enjoying our conversations and what crazy punishment is Darren going to inflict on Phillip and Daniel for his crazy think about this, or what game is Phillip going to try to make Darren and Daniel play, or just never know what's going to happen. But overall, it was a lot of fun talking Trek and just reminiscing on the show that means a lot to us. But anything that you guys would like to say?
Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, it's been, again, it's so difficult to separate what we've done from like just the last 12 years of existence. Because they've been so, in my life, so inextricably linked, and we've had such a good time. It's been such a solid, sort of consistent outlet and like healthy chatting outlet for fandom. You know what I mean? Like, just an awesome way to sort of go through and enjoy this thing that I love so much. And it's been a blast. I mean, it's not every single episode was TNG, EG, RPG, extravaganza, but we always had a good time. And, I had such a great experience just doing this with you guys. So, thanks to all the listeners for listening. But honestly, even if we had 0, we were still going to come on here and yap the afternoon away, either way. So, thanks for the opportunity. And it's been great.
So I forgot to tell you, we haven't actually published any of these episodes for the last 13 years. So they're
press the button.
It's called a binge drop where everybody gets to listen. But no, that's a good point, Daniel. Like, there was always something fun every week. I also like the fact that even though we all had different opinions, like we were never angry. It was never worth like yelling at each other, or it wasn't that kind of a show where it's like we had to tear each other down for our opinion. It's like,
just know that insurrection is better than nemesis.
Yeah. Oh, we almost made it, Phillip. Almost made it to the.
That Justice is a great episode.
Oh, Justice!
Really get into it.
I'd forgotten about Justice.
Is a murderer.
No. And that characters playing their descendants is the best part of Star Trek.
Yeah, and we can name every Q episode. It's not a big deal.
Oh, man.
By title, for sure.
Not by description, by title. All right. What about you, Phillip?
And we've watched every episode of every series.
Oh, yes. Totally.
Yeah.
100% completists. That's us.
Go ahead. Ask me any question about it. Yes. It's Sundays usually, but days have varied across time. To talk Trek every week, and usually every week, and that's what always makes it fun. And about the Star Trek that we love so much, but don't take it super seriously. Or serious in our own ways that we can still find a humor. It's like joking about your own religion. But yeah, it's been fun and memorable, and we covered so much that, the fact that we could usually come up with a topic every week between the three of us shows there was so much ground to cover and so many places to go in the franchise. There
were a few weeks where I recall looking around the room. It's like, yes, we'll talk about lamp today.
Lamps in Star Trek, lighting.
Yes, lighting. How does it work? Do the lights also turn red for red alert? Who knows?
Somehow we've got on the topic of how Dilithians mined and dilithium miners, and how you get into the dilithium mining business, and anyway, how can it exist when both replicators exist? And,
Are Trek lamps LED when LEDs didn't exist in 1987?
Oh, there's a question.
Would you just say lamp on, or is there a switch? No, it's all
if voice commands go down, is the entire Enterprise dark as no one can turn on any lamps?
Do they have emergency candles? Like, what do you do when the power does go out? Anyway. Wait, do they have wax? Do they replicate?
I'm thinking of like Starship Mine. Like, that's kind of emergency lighting, when they turn off for the Barian sweep, because it's not pitch black because otherwise we couldn't see Captain Picard. But it's very, very dark.
Well, they're docked in that episode, so there's a space station right outside with lights on.
Yeah, but we're in the corridor, Daniel. There's no window in this corridor.
I think it'd be like Generations. There's a sun right there.
Right there. Right there. Even on the bridge screen, it's shining right into my eyes. Polarize the blue view screen, please,
I know.
Mr.
Remember they did that
LaForge.
the first season like 20 years ago, but somehow forgot they could do that anyway. But yeah, there's just an example. You can go anywhere with Star Trek in more ways than one. And so, we've finished talking about it among ourselves, but obviously there'll be more Star Trek to come and more things to talk about.
There will indeed. Well, like we've all said, it's been a pleasure both chatting amongst ourselves, and also thank you again, listeners, for giving us something to talk about. Occasionally we got the gentle prod of like, hey, you guys haven't put out an episode in a couple of weeks. Are you guys still around? Right? And we're like, oh, yes. We're just Christmas vacation. But no,
It's June, Darren. June.
South of Southern Hemisphere Christmas vacation. But no.
Christmas.
And yeah, I mean, we joke about the times it was harder to come up with episodes, but like you said, sometimes the most innocuous of topics that we thought was going to take 5 minutes became an hour and spun us off into a memorable episode that we laugh about. All right.
I think we're getting the hail from the rescue vessel.
Oh, the rescue vessel. Would you send it by like radio waves like several years ago?
Lasers?
Yeah. But yes, so we are no longer stranded here on Ceti Alpha 3. It turns out there was a colony on Ceti Alpha 4 we could have hailed at any time on our 3-hour tour. But again, it's been a real pleasure and a lot of fun talking Trek with you guys every week. So once again, I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Phillip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
No longer stranded here on Ceti Alpha 3.
We're free.